Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are back for more of writing on recovery from trauma. And this is day 2 in volume 3 of PTSD recovery. And this one's called Ongoing Trauma Recovery, volume 3. And it's the 3rd volume of Overcoming PTSD. We already had day 1 of writing it, and I read to you last time where I left off. I'm just going to read the last 2 paragraphs so you'll pick up on where we left off, as I will then continue today to write more on it. In my creative story, we would make peace and be friends. Stepmother, I wish you would get help and recover. You were a peaceful, wonderful mom to me when I was in high school and your dad was still around. I wish you would see someone about your grief of losing your dad and heal within. I believe if you would heal within, your warm, welcoming heart would shine bright like the sun ray on to me to bring back nurture, love, and motherly teaching like how you used to teach me how to cook your country-style mouth-watering recipes. I will always cherish those fond memories of your cooking, showing me how to sew and teaching me about womanhood and other lessons to help me be able to know what I needed in order to be able to face life as an adult on my own. It is now and this is the past, but it is the part I choose to hold close and remember you for, as it helps me in many more ways than you would ever know. Let's turn on this flame. In the above, I actually decided to come to peace with a loving letter to her that I meant, but will never give her or say to her, because nowadays it would start a fight, but it served the purpose of creating a peaceful end that puts me at peace to let go of the years of and hundreds of traumas from that past time. So that's where I was letting go, and what we talked about was rewriting your story to end in a way you want it to end. But not even the beginning has to be true. You're approaching the emotions. You're not confronting or approaching the person or event in life. You're just dealing with your emotions. And so it's a matter of what you want to feel, what you want to experience, to reestablish that experience within your mind in a way that will further heal you in this ongoing recovery, which is basically, I'm going to talk about today some realizations. In addition to last time I mentioned about the realization that trauma is you're not done doing it. It's an ongoing thing we have to create as a habit, because life experiences will happen, and those life experiences will leave some kind of mark or trauma, at least some of them, not all of them. Hopefully you can get into a healthier livelihood, whether it's a better job or it's out of a certain relationship or out of a certain household. But once you're out of that, that's when you can heal, is when you're out of the trauma, and whoever is the person or event that caused your trauma. You have to be out of that and be ready to heal from it. But you can't heal from it if you're still in the trauma, or whoever person or event or place that you live or something, whatever it is that caused the trauma. There's actual source, not something you associate it with. And in this case, my stepmom was one of the sources that mistreated me, so I confronted my memories of her, and I decided to go peaceful. And you want to go peaceful and you want to go loving with yourself, but it doesn't have to necessarily be accurate feelings or accurate thoughts, or in this case, a letter I'd actually give to her. I don't have to give it to her. I'm making peace with myself. And the history I have with her, I'm not making a peace with her as a person. And that's the difference in trauma recovery versus family issues and dealing with the person. And we're focused on ourselves and recovering mentally. We're not looking at doing anything to take care of the person, but to spend more time taking care of ourselves and looking out for what's best for us. Sometimes you have to let go of certain things and certain people. And for me, my stepmom was one of the ones I had to let go of. I'm going to get the music back going, and then I'm going to carry on to write based off things I've realized today and experienced in the last 3 days. It's going to carry on to today's section of this book. Sorry about that. That was very disturbing. My phone fell down. Let's try this again. Okay, there we go. Get down, Blondie. Now I'll get my cat trying to become a star. Okay. Let's see. Do we still have anybody here with us? Yes, I see one person still there. So I just did about 30 minutes worth of writing. So I'm going to read to you what I just wrote in case it might be upside down or hard to read. But this is basically what I've done today. Let's see, where did I start? Okay. Today I picked up with, in the past weekend, since the last time I wrote and streamed on YouTube, I have experienced more traumas coming to surface during my daily activities. Sometimes they would not faze me, but I believe some have begun to start me into depression today. If you are like me with PTSD accompanied by anxiety and depression from going through prolonged traumas over a course of many years to decades, then you too may find your subconscious traumas causing other emotional experiences that have to do with other conditions being triggered by the rising of many traumas that used to be buried deep to a point that you did not remember these traumas until now, no matter it's supposed to be how long you went not knowing that you were even traumatized by them. You may awaken to realize that you went through many, even tens to hundreds of traumas that you were not clear about. For example, at the time I was in college and graduate school, I knew one family member had mistreated and harmed me on purpose, but I did not know my stepmother was doing anything that was considered abuse versus just needing help. I thought she was another like me trying to get better through working with her doctors, but it's supposed to be, but maybe not trying as hard as I did. Or maybe she didn't have a really good doctor like I did. Whatever was your situation or experience, you may not have known these surfacing memories were there, or even that those past times impacted you the way you may be realizing now. This can be a disruptive time, not fish. This can be a disruptive issue in life where you unexpectedly visualize or hear, or another way of reliving traumas that can trigger different emotions. It's important that you take time to journal about them. That may be through many that you write about in one page or sitting that can be pages long. It may be only a few, or you may be able to confront them all in a similar way where mine have all involved the same person. So many times I had to sit down to write in my personal journal about certain people. It's important in this writing that you write forgiveness for those who blindly or unintentionally helped the trauma occur, but were not the ones who intended it to happen, and much less to assist in harming you. In my case, that was my dad, who did not realize the kind of person who was his second marriage until he was disabled in his late 50s, and she became physically and verbally harming him worse than what my dad partnered worse than what my dad partnered her, pardoned, that's what it is, pardoned her for doing to me in many college years where it was at least only verbal. So my dad was the innocent one that thought he married somebody who was better than his first marriage, but he ended up actually marrying someone who was worse. And that's a common thing we go through in recovery from trauma, is if we try to quickly change, like let's say if it's a spouse or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, but if you leave one and you quickly go to another, more likely you're going to land with another one like my dad did, where it's another person that harms you, just as a different way, and they love bomb you. And a love bomb is where they act like they're the perfect person, doing this and that, going out of your way, giving you all these gifts, giving you all these praises, and all these other things to lure you in. And once you're in and you're married, then they actually start to hurt you. It may not be physical, it may be verbal or emotional or other ways. But an important thing in overcoming PTSD is that you do not date. Get out of whatever's the unhealthy environment, but don't date for at least 2 years. I know that sounds hard, but that's reality. So you can go through this healing process I'm guiding you through that we're on the 3rd volume of, and which is this 3rd stage of. But until you get healed, you're going to be attracted to someone else who will do something negative to you, whether it's worse or it's the same or it's not as bad, but still it'll be another source of harm or suffering or trauma. So it's important that in all of this, until we all get through this, that's at least 2 years from where you start. For some people, it may be 4 or 5 years from where they start, based off how much trauma they've been through and how quickly they work through this. At the pace I'm going, it's taken me 2 years, but I'm also working on this every day in my journal, and not just occasionally when I have time. To me, it's a priority, and it's number 1 priority with health instead of number 2 priority with work and career. So that's just an overall for today. And if anybody has any comments or feedback, please feel free to say something. I'm trying to check for anything. Any comments or feedback? Well, thank you everybody for sticking around and staying with me. It's been almost 35 minutes in this video, and I wanted to mention to you that as of this season, which is after the 15th of May of 2025, today's not the 15th, but after this season, Amazon Prime or Fire, whatever it is, Amazon one, and Apple TV. That's where you can see these on TV, on one of those stations on the Mark TV. That's ON, the Mark, MARC TV. Thank you so much for being with us, and I'll see you again later. Of course, you know we're going to have our Dancing to the Winds, and then I may be back on for another writing today. But take care, everybody, and I'll see you around soon. I hope all of us are recovering together. That's my goal with making these live streams. I want to help you recover and not just be the only one to recover. I'm here to share it with the world so we can all be better people with better lives and make a better place.